What's going on, people? It's your boy Seth, and here is another great episode of Seth on Sports. As you can see, I got a new logo. Shout out to my boy DBICDoesIt.com. Check him out for all your designing needs. He hooked me up. Beautiful. I got more coming. But man, it's tournament time. Let me go ahead and start talking about this tournament, man. Uh, got my Dickie V voice ready. Let's go, baby! So we're gonna jump into it and let me talk about my favorites, my dark horses, and I'll give you my final four. First off, in the East, my favorite out of the East right now is Ohio State. Big Ten tournament champions by far. Put hands on a lot of teams this season with a 32-2 record. Now that's pretty dominating considering the only loss they had was to Wisconsin, who was also another ranked team at home. Wisconsin is a great home team. It was a slip up, but they recovered and ended up beating Wisconsin down like a stepchild in the next game at home. But they're led by freshman forward Jared Sullinger. Man, this boy is a beast in the paint. Good feet, great hands, great size. Averaging 17 points and 10 rebounds. If he does that, they're going to be hard to handle in the tournament. My dark horse out the East is the Washington Huskies. Number 7 seed. They had a 23-10 record. They're the Pac-10 champs. I call them the dark horse because they had some pretty close games with Michigan State and Kentucky early in the season. And to win the Pac-10, they had to beat number 15 Arizona, which is a pretty good feat considering you had to knock out a ranked team in a tournament that mattered. They're led by Isaiah Thomas, a junior guard who averages 16.6 assists a game. He's a seasoned guard who averaged over 15 points since his freshman year. I think he'll really show up for these guys in the tournament. Next up, let's talk about this West. Now, my favorite out the West is UConn. I know it sounds a little crazy, and I'm not going with Duke, but I like UConn. They Big East tournament champs, and that's a major thing because the Big East is head above all the rest of the other conferences. Big games in the Big East, led by their key player Kemba Walker, who averages 23 points and 4.5 assists a game, who's arguably the player of the year. Very clutch, has hit some major shots and came through at the end for these guys time and time again. And I feel like as long as he's on the court, these guys have a real good chance of going far. My dark horse team will be the Tennessee Volunteers. They got good wins over Villanova and Pittsburgh out of the Big East, and they played a lot of those games without Bruce Pearl due to suspension earlier this season. And they got some good W's during that time. They kept losing to a few teams that were off the map, but I honestly think that was just because of the inconsistency of the coaching at the time. Things happen, but I really think these guys can make a lot of noise. They got a nice, solid guard who's in Scotty Hobson. He's a guard slash forward, I believe. 17 points, 4 rebounds. Uh, Tough SEC guy. He's come through in the clutch. He can make his own points. His average is honestly going up since about 10 points since he started playing for the Tennessee Volunteers. Should show up very heavy. Now, let's go to the Southwest. Favorite team out of the Southwest, and one of my personal favorites is Purdue. Yeah, I know y'all thinking Kansas, but I feel like Kansas is choke artists, man. They're not gonna make nothing happen. Purdue, 25-7. Very solid team out the Big Ten. Got some good wins, especially behind their two top key players in Etwan Moore and Juwan Johnson. Moore is averaging 18 points and 3 assists, while Johnson is ringing in a whopping 21 points and 8 rebounds. Now, that's two seniors for you. I feel like with senior play, it's always important, especially around tournament time. They can keep a cool head about things. They took a couple losses, but they also got some great wins this season, man. You got to watch out for these guys. They're a favorite of mine. Dark horse will be Florida State out of this bracket. Florida State got some good wins over Baylor and a huge upset factor because it seems like they always have the Duke Blue Devils number. So you want to watch Florida State because I think they can show up in big games. They're led by forward Chris Singleton with 13 points and 7 rebounds, man. You really should be on the lookout for Florida State. They can make stuff happen. They usually keep some very big guys. Last but not least, let's go to the Southeast. Pittsburgh is my favorite. Another Big East team with a 15-3 record in a conference that has 11 teams in this tournament. That's not an easy thing to do, man. I really like these guys. Pittsburgh has showed up time and time again. They got a leading scorer, Ashton Gibbs, who can hit the three and create his own opportunity to score. So you don't want to let this kid get hot. My dark horse will be St. John's out the Big East as well. These guys made a great push at the end of the season. Did some really good things to take out Duke, UConn, and my favorite pick. So watch out for these guys, man. They were led by DJ Kennedy. He had 10 points, 6 rebounds that helped St. John's to multiple victories late in the season. Here's my final four, people. I know y'all looking at it crazy. Yes, I picked Purdue. I picked Purdue for the reasons I said, man. I really just think these guys are going to have a great tournament, and I feel like it's always something crazy happening. I think that's going to be it. Moving on now. They had a good documentary on the Fab Five on ESPN that's been causing a lot of uproar. Fab Five is the Michigan Wolverines of the 91 through 93 seasons that started all freshmen in 91 and 92 and all sophomores for the 92-93 season. It had me thinking. These guys were great. Very great. They didn't win the big one, but they got there with 5 freshmen. I was thinking, who would be my top 5 teams that I just want to see play each other, mix around, however you want to look at it. So I decided to do a top 5. My 5th team, UMass, led by center Marcus Camby in 1996. Great team, man. Do some looking up. If you don't know who they are, I'm telling you, man, they made a lot of noise. Number 4, Houston Cougars, aka Phi Slamma Jamma, led by Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler. These dudes made a lot of noise, and boy, did they dunk on some people. It was fun to watch, very fun to watch. Number 3, Michigan, Fab Five, baby. Say no more. Weber, Jalen Rose, Juwan Howard, forget about it. Number 2, I went with the 1984 Georgetown Hoyas, led by Patrick Ewing and coached by John Thompson, the great coach. And number 1, had to go with the 1982 North Carolina team, led by Michael Jordan, the man, and James Worthy and Sam Perkins. That's my top 5, man. But down in the comments, I want y'all to write some other teams that I may have forgot, I may not have mentioned, that y'all would like to see mentioned. All right? Now, it's time for my rant, man. I got a problem with what's going on in NFL, but I ain't even going to talk about that. It hurts my heart to see that these dudes can't come to a proper ending to this. But I kind of want to talk about the documentary on the Fab Five again, where Grant Hill kind of took some words from Jalen Rose kind of personal. And it's like, all right, man, I understand what he said was harsh, calling him a B word, saying he was Uncle Tom, whatever. But it was years ago, and also Jalen Rose said, hey, these guys were no joke. They can play ball. He said he envied you. So why attack? Why you feel like you had to come back and say something? Like, handle that man to man. Don't come out in the media and say that, man. Grant Hill, I love Grant Hill. Don't get it wrong. Don't get me wrong. And I love that team that they were actually talking about, the 93 Duke team. But come on, man. Let's stop that. Stop crying. That's how Jalen Rose felt about you at the time. You didn't need to come back in the media to say anything. He also complimented you. Always remember, when somebody usually say something, man, they usually compliment you behind it. Take it as a compliment. Don't try to come back at this man in the media, because it's going to turn into something that it doesn't even have to be. But that's all my time, people. Hope that y'all enjoyed another beautiful episode. I think it went well. Round of applause. Wait. Nah. Okay. Nah, man. But y'all be cool, man. Be sure to make sure you check out DiBiase Does It, man. DiBiaseDoesIt.com. That's where I got my designer needs. Till then, I'm Seth, and this was me on sports. Y'all be cool.